over this month, I've been looking at some of our previous conversations for the previous live streams,
Okay, good.
and one of the things that I've noticed is that I suck at talking really, really bad. I feel like, and I don't think this just happens when I'm talking to you, but like when I'm just talking in general, I feel like in my mind, I'm so caught up on trying to be so precise to make sure that there's no misinterpretations that I can just sometimes come off as like long-winded, kind of alien, kind of boring, and kind of just like too much of a robot or something. Um, and I don't know. I guess in my mind, I want to try and like make what comes out of my mouth like as logical, as reasonable, as accurate as possible. But I feel like there can be sometimes disconnect between me and other people when it comes to that. So, any advice?
I think you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm definitely long-winded. I love to hear myself talk. So no,
I do too. But
no, what I'd say about that, I mean, I don't get that impression. I feel like you're putting your thoughts together well. The biggest thing that I would say, just in general, in becoming a better communicator, well, there's two things I would say. One
okay.
is to pause, right? This is just something. In fact, I just had a coaching client who had sent me a video,
Yeah.
and he was talking about what he wanted for coaching. And I replied back, I was like, somebody has been in Toastmasters, because I could tell, because the way that he recorded the video, he didn't say he just paused, and he did a lot of pauses to get his thoughts together. And you can see that I'm really making a conscious effort right now to do that. And so you'll see that I'm not going to say as much. It's going to come across a little bit better, even if it takes me a second to think about what am I going to say, and then I say the sentence. So that's something that can just help you in general to become a better speaker, because then you're putting your thoughts together. You're not having to use all these transition words. The second thing is to bring emotion, animation into it.
Okay.
A lot of people complain sometimes. They say, well, John, in your videos, you're like talking with your hands all over the place. That's because I'm trying to bring you some real passion to what I'm saying, right? So when you speak, that can help as well. It's just so then you don't come as monotone, right? You're varying the pitch of your voice, right? From high to low to loud to quiet, especially with the pause in between. You can make more of an emphasis. So it's sort of things that maybe you would learn in like a stage acting class, how to how to basically capture the audience's attention. But I really don't think that you have that much of an issue. But those are some tips that I would give on that. The last thing I would say is that, the better you know your subject matter, obviously the more you can talk about it. But sometimes that's going to cause you to talk a lot about it. So being precise and concise is, if you really need to be precise and concise, then it's something that you kind of have to just research and rehearse ahead of time in order to be able to do that.
I see. About the whole pausing thing, one of the reasons why I don't practice that as often as I should is because I feel like if I do that, people might see how unsure and how unconfident I am with talking. It kind of feels like I'm just like stopping. It's like, I don't know what to say next. It's like, can they see what I'm thinking? Oh my god, like they must know that I'm just talking shit. Oh shit, and that's the type of thoughts that go through my head when I start pausing.
So it's a frame, right? So it should actually have the opposite effect, because if you are deliberately pausing, I'm going to say this thing, deliberately thinking about what you're saying, it comes across as you're more put together, you're more eloquent in your speech. You just have to have the confidence of that frame to say, I'm only going to speak when I have the right words to say. People will hang on your words, right? This is something that if you, and you can see this, here's a good way to test this. So next time you watch the news or something and they interview someone, or you see an interview, see how that person talks. And when you see the person that actually stops, takes the pause, then says what they're going to say, you'll find that they're going to give you a much more of an impression of authority because they're taking the time. They feel like they have the time to take. So it's usually better when you compare that to someone who's a nervous speaker. What does a nervous speaker do? They're blah 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 blah. They're like, hey, it does, you know, they're like constantly talking very, very fast paced, right? Someone who slows down, who's willing to pause, take the time, they're going to come across with a little bit more authority.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense because I tend to do the whole talking really fast a lot. So okay, so it's more about like the frame and the mindset behind it as opposed to what I'm doing itself. What I'm doing comes from the frame and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, that's it. I guess I had a really short question this week. I mean, this month.
That's fine. All right.
But yeah, thanks for talking to me this month.
Yeah. Good to see you. All right.
Take care. Bye.
Take care, brother.